Good morning and welcome. I decided to come outside today and find a little shady spot. It's going to be hot again in this August day, but it's beautiful still. We're just coming out of a monsoon season, and so everything's nice and green for the time being, and I am loving it. I have to keep stopping the video for some reason on a Saturday morning. This road has suddenly got a little more traffic than usual. But if this is your first time seeing me, I'm Janine, and on this station we talk about all the life experiences that we've already had and the lessons that we've learned from them. And of course, we're on an adventure. We are digging for gold, and we love to find the new things in our life, be curious, and it's really amazing how one little thing that we do that's taking time can actually make our time more efficient, and we can get a lot more done than we think when we are disciplined in one small area. And that's what this video is about, is this one small thing that I've done to get more out of my life and be a little more organized with my own time. This morning I am exploring my artist way journey. This book literally called to me several years ago. When I say called to me, it was like, I don't know where it came from exactly. I don't even remember. But I read the book. I read it all the way through, and I decided that I was going to take this journey. The book kind of promises clarity if you'll do it. And I decided, well, why not? I'll try it. And I started with the morning pages, what she calls the morning pages, which is just 3 pages of handwritten. First thing in the morning, before you have time to think of anything, you write 3 handwritten pages. And my journey with this has gone from just a standard notebook, filling 3 pages of that. And then I decided I wanted to get a nicer notebook with more pages because I was running out of pages quickly. And so I went with this bigger, slightly bigger one. And you can see the difference here. It's not that much bigger, but a little bit. And then I got really adventurous and I bought myself a great big book, and I decorated the front and everything. And this book, I decided, was probably not the best idea. And the reason for that is the pages were so big that filling 3 of them took an extra, at least an extra 10 minutes. And time-wise, I just felt like that was a little bit much, but I kept on doing it anyway, and seemed to find some of the smaller ones, because I'm an extremist. I went from the great big pages to thinking, oh, that's just too exhausting, to a pretty small 5x7 notebook. And then I have my current book is one just that I got because I thought it was pretty. And so this is the book that I'm writing in now. One recommendation I would make on writing is to get yourself a nice pen, one that flows easy and feels good in your hand. And the other is to just stick with an 8.5 by 11 size sheet of paper. You don't need to get the great big sized ones because you're, like me, thinking that you're going to get so much more out of it by writing more. It doesn't work that way. But neither is, you're cheating yourself if you go smaller. So just an 8.5 by 11, you can get a cheap notebook. You can go out and make a celebration out of it, like I've done recently, and try to just get pretty notebooks. And so the morning pages have done a great deal for me. And I have learned a lot over the years about myself, and it it's amazing the things that come out of the morning pages. And I'll tell you, when I first started, it was a jumble of messy thoughts. And then as time went by, I realized that I did have recurring themes. And a lot of times it ended up being prayers on paper. In the time that I've been doing the Artist Way, I have stepped way, way out of my comfort zone. Some of the things that I've accomplished is I helped host a, a family reunion that was 100 years in the waiting stages, and that was a lot of fun. I didn't do it alone, I had help. I've done a couple of retreats. I wrote a book, and you can get the link to my book. That was a fun process. Actually, getting it published was another learning curve, but I I got it out there for me. The other thing that I've done is, of course, start this YouTube channel, which is so far out of my comfort zone. I am a recovering, very shy person, and so I applaud myself for doing that. One of the reasons I decided to do this video was because there are 3 components basically to the Artist Way if you're going to do the whole thing. And in the beginning, when I first started this program, I decided that I was going to do the whole thing, and I committed to the 3 pages every morning, and I did really good with that. I didn't miss a single day. But when it came to the other parts of the Artist Way, I have to admit that I slacked off. I didn't think that they were going to be as hard as they were, to put it honestly, at least for myself. So recently, I picked the book up again and I reread it entirely, and I decided that I really needed to recommit and do those extra steps to see how they would help me in my life. And oh my goodness, the sun is going to be coming up over there. I might lose my shade. But the second component is the art, what she calls the artist date. Now, the artist date is where you just go spend time with yourself doing something fun or enjoyable or completely nonsensical, maybe even. Just the point of it is to get out and you're not sharing that time with anybody but yourself. And I'm going to read to you just one little chapter or one paragraph in the book. Not a whole chapter, don't worry if you don't mind. And this where it says, think of the combination of tools in terms of a radio receiver and transmitter. It is a two-step, two-directional process. Out and then in. Your morning pages, you are sending, you're notifying yourself and the universe of your dreams and dissatisfactions and hopes. Doing your artist date, you are receiving, opening yourself to insight, inspiration, and guidance. Now that's the part that I really do want, but I have to admit it wasn't until this reading of the book this time that I was able to even catch that paragraph. I didn't even notice it before. That connection that there's actually it's part of the two-way process of getting inspiration and getting unstuck. So I'm going to be doing an experiment. For the next 12 weeks, I will be taking an artist date every week, and I'm going to not focus so much on the homework, although I will try to do those things as well. But I'm going to focus on the main thing, getting that date in. And then if I've done that before the end of the week, then I will do the homework as well. But I live in a very rural area, as you can see behind me. Even going to work and back is a 40-minute drive one way. And So the closest town is where I work, and it seemed kind of daunting to try to find things to do in this rural area. And even in town, it's a very small town when it comes to things to do. Help myself do this experiment successfully, I'm going to have to get myself a list of activities, get online and do some research and see what's out there in this area. It might be a good time because we're coming into the fall soon. Maybe there's going to be some festivals. Going forward, what I'm really hoping is that doing this extra step while I continue to keep writing is going to give me some insight as to maybe what I'm missing and discover some things that I might love to do, and also discover some things that I think I like to do, but maybe I don't. One of the things that I really long to do is my own art. I have written several children's books in the past, and I've illustrated them, and I've had a lot of fun with that. And there's some of the exercises in the book I know that I probably do need to do them because part of the reason that I haven't done more with my books is because of some negative comments that were made in the past that kind of struck deep to my creativity side or creative side. And so I haven't done much with those in the last year, last 10 years. So if you start the artist way and you only start with the morning pages, I'd love to hear about that. But if you are an adventurous and want to take on the challenge with me over the next 12 weeks and do an artist date every week with yourself, boy, I'd love to hear your ideas, first of all, on what can be done in a rural area, and also what you might be doing on your own artist date and how that made you feel. And of course, if you've already done the artist way and you've had experience with it, boy, I'd sure love to hear those experiences too. I believe that we learn our best lessons from our own life. Life experiences can teach us the most. And taking those events in our life and breaking them down and getting the good that's in them will only benefit us and all of the people around us. So until next week, I hope that you'll have a great date with yourself. I'd love to hear about it. And please subscribe to my station